fellow heroes. It is I, Mr. U, the comic hero, and this is the Master Maneuver. It's a beautiful day out. It's a nice and sunny day here in California. The birds are chirping. The gardeners are gardening and mowing the front lawn, which is fantastic for a live stream. Not much that I can do about that. I sincerely hope that you can hear me over the roar of the lawnmower. But the man wants to clean up the yard right now. So I hope you guys have had a wonderful week. I, for one, have had quite a week. Tuesday, which is the busy day at Comic Hero. That's the day that we massive door, glass door that you walk into to get into the store, and that door just shattered for some reason, and I'm not sure what caused it. Probably the poultry guys wanting to continue pounding on me after that pounding it gave me a couple weeks back. But anyway, I have to get insurance involved and a lot of fun stuff. But enough about that. I hope you all are having a beautiful, wonderful week. And so the Master Maneuver is a time where I can take some time away from the store and I can just sit down and do my second favorite thing. And comic books are first, board games are second, and this is me about to play the Final Girl board game. For those of you that have never played the Final Girl board game, Final Girl is a game that utilizes the horror theme. It basically puts you in the place of a final girl in a movie franchise. And so you play the final girl. Your job is to kill the killer before the killer kills you. There's victims on the board. Rescue the victims, you become more powerful. As the victims die, the killer becomes more powerful. So it's a nice balance of give and take here. And then today we are going to be playing the Panic at Station 2891. Let's take a look at that. So this is what we got right here. We got the Station 2891, and this is the organism. Some of you may take a look at kind of some of these images and that looks familiar with, because it does. This is using the John Carpenter's The Thing as inspiration. These are our victims over here. One of these victims is the organism, and we have to find out which one of the victims is the organism and then ultimately defeat it. So let's discuss a little bit about what we got going on, right? So we got Station 2891. Station 2891 operates just like a standard location. The one difference being, so here's an interior. You have a little moon icon, little triangle icon. Those are intended to be used with these cards over here, just to tell you who is in those spaces. If I need them, we'll use them. Otherwise, I'll just put the guys sideways up on this, and we'll figure it out. These are little hallways and just really long halls that connect you to some of these rooms. This out here is the outside of the station. If you are in any of these spaces, at some point there's going to be an icon that looks like a blue thermometer. That icon indicates that you have frostbite. And if you have frostbite icon and you are tasked to put on another frostbite icon, then you take a damage. That will instantly kill victims. So you have to ensure that any victims outside have to escape, because if victims die, the bloodlust track on the killer will go in Antarctica, and we got to find them in safety. There's this card that I will have down here in my player plateau. When you got some victims on there, the helicopter will take off. It'll fly to the Arctic airport, fly back, and then land, and then we can rescue more victims. The problem is it's going to take time for that airplane or the helicopter to move multiple spaces for us to be able to rescue those victims. It'll roughly take about 4 turns before the victims get rescued. There are ways of making the helicopter move faster, so hopefully we get those and make it move a little bit faster. So frostbite outside, helicopter has to move, and then it takes time to rescue victims. And we have 3 searchy spaces: Commander's Hut, Tool Shed, and the Supply Closet. The rooms are also all kind of labeled: the rec room, kitchen, radio room, the lab. If you're familiar again with John Carpenter's A Thing, then you'd be familiar with this. That, in a nutshell, is pretty much it for what is unique about the station. Now let's talk about the organism. Now the organism, again, is one of the victims. We don't know which one. So in order for us to figure out which one it is, we have to move one of these, the gray, the black, or the red victim, into the lab. While in the lab, we can do a lab check, at which point we will flip over one of these test results. If the victim is safe, then you replace the meeple with the regular meeple, and then that victim is a normal victim for us to save or whatever. If the victim is taken over, then we flip over one of these cards. The card that we flip over will tell us what organism, because there's 3 different types, what organism the victim is. We place a little token here to show us which victim it is that has been taken over, and then we have to kill that organism to keep all the other victims safe. In a nutshell, that is pretty much it. However, the rule book for the organism is pretty in-depth, but it's mostly about very specific situations. But realistically, that is at the crux what we're supposed to do. The item decks have a lab kit in them. So if we have one of those kits with us, we won't need to go into the lab. We can simply do the test right then and there and hope that we don't have to deal with a organism in our space. And we get those automatically anytime we're in a search space. So I have them underneath here, just because we don't really need to see them. Just know that I'm going to get a kit when we do a search. We also start the game with a 2-way radio, and the 2-way radio basically allows us to spend a time to move a victim one space, and we can only move a victim once per turn. So we have 4 uses on it, so we can essentially move 4 victims, or 4 victims one space in a turn, or move 1 victim 4 times on 4 separate turns. We'll see what happens there. So organism, the station, 2-way radio that we start with, the helicopter card. We also do get a very special action card in this level, which is the Fly Faster card. This makes the helicopter move faster, right? So this is a one-time cost card that'll let the helicopter move faster so that we can rescue victims faster. It's still going to be a pain to get the victims in there, but it is what it is. So let's take a look at what we've got in the item decks. At the top, we have in the supply closet, we have some roller skates. When resolving movement, do not count hallways as spaces. Move 1 fewer space when starting your movement outdoors, a minimum of 1. This item is not considered in your backpack, but the card may be kept there. The reason why it says that is because there's 4 spaces in our backpack, so these are skates that allow us to move a little bit faster when we're inside. Basically just lets us use the hallways for free, which is nice, but when we go outside, we're going to be much slower outside. That's kind of, for me, in my opinion, kind of a late game card, because you are going to restrict your movement outside if you need to rescue any more victims, but we'll see what happens there. We've also got in the tool shed, which is outside, we've got Char, the Alaskan Malamute. When an enemy enters your space, deal a damage to it. The next time you take damage, ignore it and discard this card instead. This ally is considered in your backpack, or this ally is not considered in your backpack, but we can keep them there. Same as the roller skates. The dog isn't going to be sitting in our backpack. It's not an item that we carry. And then finally, in the commander's hut, which is this space right here, we have the 2-way radio. So there's another 2-way radio for us to get a hold Of those items, the dog is probably the most appealing, but we have to get all the way across over here and hope we don't suffer any frostbite. Frostbite is going to be one of the things we are going to end up dealing with the most, and it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, last but not least is our final girl, and in this time around we're going to be using Uki. Uki has 4 spaces. So 4 spaces to give us our ultimate. The spaces give us move a space, recover a heart, take the furious strike, and increase time by 2. She has 6 hit points. And when she has her ultimate, she gets beaten up a bit. But once per turn, we may play a copy of the guard card as though it was in our hand. And for every additional victim that we rescue, we decrease horror by 1, which is beautiful. I love that. So having basically a guard card definitely in our hand once we get the ultimate ability is very helpful when it comes to dealing with the killers. So we've done the location, the killer, the items, and our final girl. We've done touched upon everything else. So you know what that means, kids. The mask is on. The board is set. Let's ring the bell. Alright, we start every game, a final girl, with an event card. So our first event in this game is Pair Up. Everyone, stay together. No one should be alone. Remove all of the victims that are alone in a space from the board and place them 2 at a time in the following locations until none are left. Kitchen, radio room, rec room, lab. If there are an odd number of victims, add 1 new victim before placing the final 2. Okay, great. So, let's see. Remove all of the victims that are alone in a space from the board. I wonder, does that mean yeah, because they're considered victims as well. So that also means the victims that we suspect to be organisms are going to be paired up here. So remove all the victims that are alone in a space from the board and place them 2 at a time. In the following locations until none are left. So we're going to place 2 in the kitchen. Okay, hold on. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to pair up a suspected killer with a normal victim. So we're going to place 2 in the kitchen. And then we're going to place 2 in the radio room. And then we're going to place 2 in the rec room with me. And if there are an odd number of victims, and then 2 in the lab. Okay, so we didn't have any odd number of ducklings here. Okay, that is fairly interesting for us. Yeah, that's a pretty decent setup. Okay, so we could, because we can only take 3 guys in the helicopter. So my train of thought is this: we could try and move out this way using the 2-way radio. We can move these 2 dudes into this space here, just waiting for the helicopter. It could take us 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 4 turns to get there. Maybe 2 turns if I can get a sprint on the second turn. But my plan is we move in this direction so we can rescue at least 3 victims. We need 4 for the ultimate power. Then maybe we go into the tool shed to grab the pepperoni. Once we grab the pepperoni, we go back up, maybe grab these dudes, rescue those guys, and then we start going after the organism. That is my plan. That is my plan for the master maneuver, and that is what we're going to do. So we have 6 cards in our hand. We got 2 walks, 2 focus, a weak attack, and a short rest. So I like to keep at least 1 movement card always in my hand so that I'm never in a position where I can't move if I need to. So we're going to start the first action with a walk. And let's see how far we get. I'm going to leave the suspected organism behind because, like I said, we don't want to Or I can take him with us. If he dies by frostbite, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay, we get one success. One success means we move one space. Yeah, let's take him with us for now. Let's see how far I want to go. And then we'll do a focus. The organism starts us at a horror level of 5. And so I would prefer to get that horror level down, because we know, if you've seen any of the streams, how quickly horror can go up. And we're just 2 spaces away from the red, which would then force us to roll one die. Okay, we got 1 success, which means we decrease horror by 1, decrease time by 1. That puts us at 4 time. I'm going to stop right there. I don't want to use a two-way radio just yet. I want to buy a sprint card. Oops, that didn't go there. So let's take a look. We've got 4 time. A sprint card will help us move a little bit further, maybe get us here. If we can get here, then maybe I'll use the two-way radio to rescue these 2 guys, and then get them into the helicopter, then move over here. That will be my plan of action. So yeah, so we're gonna get a sprint card. That's 2 time. We'll get the fly faster card, and then since we have 1 more time, we'll get the close call. That's 4 time. Puts us up to 6. These go here, and now it is the killer's turn. Okay, so as of right now, the organism doesn't have any actions that it is going to do, because again, it doesn't want to reveal to us that it is a killer. Easily yeah, you know what? This map is pretty brutal, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It makes it so that you don't want to stay on the lower half at all. It is interesting because it does give us a lot of space to move up top. But yeah, this one is tough, because not only do you have to worry about the organism, you also have to worry about the weather conditions. All right, so we'll flip over a terror card. Gosh, this card's just going all slippy slidey. Have you seen how disgusting it is? If there is no mutated organism in play, discard this card and draw the next terror card. Okay, great, because I did not want to lose 2 horror. Yeah, that's the other thing I noticed. If you don't have the fly faster card, so he says that not only do you have to worry about the frostbite, but it just takes too long to rescue the victims. Like I had mentioned before, it takes about 4 turns to rescue the victims, because with the helicopter card, the helicopter token starts here, and then on the next turn it moves to the air, and then it goes to the Arctic airport, drops the victims off, and then it's got to come back, and then it's got to come back, and once it's here, then it lands there for you to be able to rescue the next victims. However, with the Fly Faster card, you can make it move 2 turns faster. So instead of 4 turns, it's 2 turns. But it's still not an instantaneous way to rescue the victims. And you're also not dealing with... you only have the 1 exit. There's no other way to rescue the victims. Okay, so we have to flip over another terror card. If there, we can't stay here. If there are no victims in play, discard this card and draw another. Okay, there are. Panic all victims that are indoors. Then panic all victims that are in a hallway. Well, I mean, if there's no mutated monsters, so they're not gonna kill anybody. But anybody outside gets a frostbite, and then the helicopter moves 1 space further, but the helicopter is still waiting for us. So let's do this one at a time. Let's panic all the victims. All right, so we're going to panic this pair over here. We've got Drew and Naja hanging out over here. So Drew and Naja rolled a 4. Drew goes outside. Way to go, Drew. Now you got to deal with the frostbite. I blame you. And then Naja decides to follow. Now she has to go do that as well. You bunch of nitwits. Now let's get the doctors in the lab. We've got Dr. Garth and Dr. Teresa. Let's see where they end up panicking. Okay, so let's see. They panic into this room. That would be Dr. Teresa. And then Dr. Garth goes into the hallway. And now in the radio room, we've got DJ Tiz and DJ Blake. Let's see where they go. Yeah, they're smoking dope, both of them. Okay, DJ Blake and DJ Tiz are going. So this is DJ Tiz. And then DJ Blake goes into the lab. Okay, and now in the kitchen, we've got Greg and Grace. Greg and Grace are in the kitchen. Whoops. Okay, Greg stays in the kitchen. And where does Grace go? Grace also stays in the kitchen. So, panic all the victims that are indoors, then panic all the victims that are in the hallway. So now we got to panic all these guys. Yeah, DJ. Well, yeah, they've left the radio. There's nobody in the radio room anymore. Okay, this was, who is this? This was, oh, that's Dr. Garth. Dr. Garth. Where's Dr. Garth going? Number 3. Dr. Garth goes into the lab with DJ Blake. All right, up over here we've got Charlize up over there. Charlize is going in the kitchen. Charlize is going in the kitchen. And last but not least, we got Nico up over here. Where does Nico go? Nico goes into the beds. All right. So then the killer, which is not on the board, has to target the nearest victim, move, and attack. Now frostbites. We have to deal with some frostbites. There are 4 victims outside. Okay, this sucks. There goes that plan. Alright, but I'm still going to try to save at least 2 dudes. Alright, no victims were killed. Yeah, we drew a tarot card. No victims were killed, so there's no panic. There's nothing to reveal during the upkeep, so then it goes back to my turn. I'd hold my purse if I were close to that black meeple. Yeah, well, you know, Charlize is, she's a crazy kid, man. Alright, oops. You guys didn't even get to see my dice rolls. Alright, let's go for a sprintathon here. So now I wonder if I should go this way to try to rescue the dope smoking Drew and Naja and bring them down here with the folks that were staying outside. I mean, I would have to get perfect rolls in order to move 1, 2, and 3 and then move down with a walk. Let's see what the dice gods say. Drew and Naja got frostbite trying to get high. Yeah, well, you know how it goes, my friend. This is how it happens in these horror movies, man. Okay, so we rolled absolute doo-doo. So we're going to get rid of our short rest and our close call to convert that into 1 success, which lets us move 2 spaces. If we move 2 spaces, we could end up over here. What I could do, so as not to get Drew and Naja killed, because I'm going to move pretty slow, is I can use the 2-way radio to move them inside so they don't get hurt. we'll worry about these two knuckleheads and see what happens. So I'm gonna keep going with my original plan, minus the one. Oh, you know what? Let's take that back. Before I move, I'm gonna use my two-way radio, one of my things, to move this victim over there, and then we're gonna move 1 and 2 with this victim in tow. I'm gonna use 2 more charges to move Drew and Naja inside. Now, when does Frostbite come out? When you go inside, during the upkeep phase, discard all Frostbite tokens. Okay, upkeep. Okay, because you can still end up going outside. Okay, so that's how we're going to leave that. Now, let's go for a walk. Depending on what I roll on the walk, if I get the 2 movement, I can just, well, no, I can't. No, I can. Yeah, I can bring all 3 of you guys into the helicopter space. So this is so cinematic. I'm loving it. I believe, yeah, no, it says in the rulebook upkeep for sure. Okay, so let's see if we can get double stars. We get double stars, we might be able to get these 3 dudes into the helicopter and off the board. Come on, baby. I believe in the heart of the dice. Okay, double conversion. Now I've only got 2 cards. Well, Pooposaurus. And what have I done? I arrested. I did a short. Okay, so we did the short walk. The extra pieces time I went. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to get rid of these cards because we'll need them. So I think we just take the loss. We move 1 space, take a wound, and decrease time by 2. That'll still give us the opportunity to buy a sprint card for the next turn. We'll have a sprint and a walk. And a close call. So that's what I'm going to do. We're going to move this little trio and hope to bejeebers that they don't get frostbitten a second time. Okay, so that is it for my turn. We lost 2 time. That puts us at 3 time. So, like I said, 3 time. We'll buy the other sprint card. And we'll buy the other close call. That's 3 time. That puts us at 0, back to 6. And then we also get this focus and this walk. Oops, and I forgot to focus as well, didn't I? I'm moving a little faster than I care to. Alright, so we've done our planning phase. Gotta go back to work. Someone let the Pooposaurus out again. Uh-oh, there's a Pooposaurus on the loose over at Universal Studios. If you guys smell a Pooposaurus, well, you know who's taking care of it. Have fun, my friend. Alright, so we're done with the planning phase. Now it's time for the organism to attack or whatever, but they don't have an action, so we're just going to go straight to the terror card. And we'll see if my victims survive this turn. Okay. Discard the test kit from the search space that is closest to you, which is in the tool shed. So the tool shed's kit gets destroyed. So this card right here is now gone. And we'll put it right there. Okay, so discard the test kit from the 1 normal victim within 2 spaces of the associated search space is killed. Alright. Well, it's either going to be this space or that space. And for the ability to teach you guys a lesson, I'm going to say that because Drew had to go and rescue the Pooposaurus in Universal Studios, and because he had gotten high and went outside, and then I had to force him back inside, Drew will be my unfortunate victim in this particular instance. Ah! Sorry, dude. you're toast. Bloodlust goes up by 1. And the main reason why I did that is because I also didn't want to lose all 3 of my other victims that I've worked so hard to save. So now the killer targets the nearest victim and moves 2 spaces, but we don't know which one is the killer yet. So, as right now, we're still safe. Okay, there was a victim killed, but there are no victims in a killer space, so there's no panic phase. Upkeep, these frostbite tokens come off. So Nausea is now safe from being frozen. So now we want to go back to us, or not want to, we will go back to us. So now I think we go for a walk and we try to get these 3 dudes on the chopper. Get them to the chopper! Alright, let's... Oops, I also lost a hit point there. Okay. Let's get these guys where they need to be, into the helicopter. Okay, 1 success. Let's just move 1 space. We decrease time by 1, so I will move here. And then these 3 happy-pappy, schmappy people go into the helicopter. And the helicopter is now in the Arctic station. Alrighty. Beautiful. That's 3 folks to rescue. Alright, so let's decrease time by 1. Alright, so now we should go for a sprint and maybe get ourselves in the tool shed so we can get the husky puppy, and then maybe make our way to the lab. There's 2 victims in the lab that we can check for whether to see if they're assimilated or not, and that'll take care of a little bit of business for us. So let's go for a sprint. And we're going to go for a sprint towards the tool shed. Okay, that's a double success, which lets us move 3 spaces. 1, 2, and 3 puts us in the tool shed. Beautiful, beautiful. Double successes. Love that. Decrease time by 1. Okay, so I think we should do a focus and then maybe a fly faster. And that'll be the end of our turn. We're going for a focus. Get over here. Where are you going? Why are you running away from me? Oh, brother. Maybe that's it telling me don't focus yet, but I'm going to. That's part of my plan. Focus. Let's see what happens. 1 success. We decrease horror by 1, decrease time by 1, and then last but not least, let's go for a fly faster. All right, baby. Whoa, double 1. That's a big stinkeroo. Already decreased. No, we got a close call in our hands. I want to try to buy a search card on the next turn. So I'm going to use my close call to reroll 1 die. There we go. Okay. So that speeds up the helicopter by 1 space. The helicopter is in the air. Okay. And that will conclude our turn. Now let me look at the rules one more time when it comes to the helicopter. When the helicopter token is on the green space, once the victim is the helicopter icon, may move 1 space. If the same victims, the helicopter must reach the Arctic airport. If the helicopter reaches the airport outside the okay, but when do you move the helicopter? I believe the helicopter moves during the upkeep. When the helicopter token is on the green space, you may freely move it and up to 3 victims are on it into the helicopter card. Once the helicopter has victims on board, it cannot return until it's first dropped. The victims on the helicopter up to the helicopter icon means the helicopter move 1 space on the helicopter card. The new Fly Faster action card is the fastest way. To say victims, the helicopter must... Well, no, I guess it doesn't even move. It doesn't even move. It doesn't even move until we get that helicopter icon. Holy cannoli. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, that's a bummer. So, I thought it was going to be 4 turns. Now, it seems like it's going to be even longer. Okay, so, let's see. That's 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. Yes, we're at 3 time. Is now purchase time. We're going to grab ourselves these 2 cards here. We're going to grab the search card and the close call. Oh boy. Okay, so Fly Faster goes there, this spring card. Okay. Yeah, this location is going to make us. This location is very time hungry. I'm seeing. Okay. So no victims were killed. So there's no panic. Let's see what the terror card, or rather, yeah, killer action. Killers don't do anything. Terror card. If there's no mutated organism in play, increase bloodlust by 1. And then the killer, who we don't know, moves and attacks. If a victim was killed, draw and resolve the next terror card. Now, I wonder if I'm playing this correctly, because again, according to the rules, there are no killers until we reveal one of these dudes. So all we got was an increase in bloodlust. Now, what's going to happen though with the killers, since we're already on the bloodlust track of 2, when we flip over the card and we reveal the killer, we're going to have to do everything in that bloodlust track to bring it all the way up. So a lot of stuff is going to happen. So again, no victim was killed. So no panic. And then nothing happens during the upkeep phase. So now it's our turn. So we're going to go for a search. We want that puppy. Oh, man. Well, we can discard a short rest and a weak attack. Convert one of these and just grab the pup. Yep, take the top item of our of the deck. So we're gonna grab puppy. Puppy is now in our possession, but not in our pack, and then we decrease time by 1. Okay. Now let's get into the lab and see what's on the slab. I see you shiver with anticipation. All right. Hope we don't end up outdoors. Well, even if we end up outdoors, we'll be fine. Good gravy. We can't even. That's just a straight up fail. So we're just gonna move 1, take a damage, decrease time by 2. Yikes. And then finally, we'll play a focus and then retire these dice. Let's try these guys. And then see what we get. Let's see what we get. I only got 1. Oh, wait. Card I have in my hand. It happens to be a close call. So let's close call that. And let's just roll 1 die and hope we get something good. Nope. Same crap. Decrease time by 2. 1, 2. Alright, so that means we got 1 time going into the planning phase. So I want to buy a Fly Faster card. And then we get the focus and the walk back. And that's it. Okay. Alrighty. This is brutal. I feel like I'm not really doing much of anything here. So killers don't do anything at the moment. Terror card. Let's see what they are going to do. Extra legs. The mutated organism closest to you gets this power. If there's no mutated organism in play, place this with the remaining mutated organism cards. The next time a mutated organism card is revealed, it gets this card. The mutated organism gains +1 to its movement value, and it has 2 hit points. So this card is going to go over with these other cards. So when we reveal one of these guys, it flips over. That tells us who we're fighting. And then that particular one will get said minor dark power. Helicopter does not move. Nobody was killed. Back to us. Okay, so no frostbite happened. Let's go for a little walkathon. Let's give ourselves a little walkies. It's time for some walkies. Come on, baby. Got 2 cards in my hand. I'm going to have to take the loss on that one too. So we're going to move a space, take a wound, lose 2 times. Oh, rolling like doo-doo. Okay, now let's fly faster. Come on, baby. Let's get these guys home. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? We can lose 1 time or lose 2 times and then re-roll again. I don't trust myself, so I'm just going to lose the 1 time. Oh my gosh. We are rolling like absolute garbage. And these victims are just sitting in a helicopter, just waiting to go home. We'll do a focus. Okay, there we go. There's 1 little happy star. Okay, 1 happy star decreases horror by 1, decreases time by 1. Okay, so that gives us 2 time going into the planning phase. 2 time, I think we should buy ourselves a sprint card. And then we get the focus, walk, short rest, weak attack. And then these 2 go over here. Oh man, oh man. Okay, so back to the killer phase. The killers. So again, the killers don't do anything because they haven't been revealed yet, but they will on the next turn. We'll see what happens. It could be anywhere or anyone. If there are no exposed victims in play, but there are exposed victims. The gray, red, and black meeples are the exposed victims. Roll a die for each normal victim. If a 1 is rolled, it trades spaces with the farthest exposed victim. You can lay a victim on its side to designate that it has been rolled for. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 victims that we have to roll for. So roll a die for each normal victim. If a 1 is rolled, it trades spaces with the farthest exposed. Okay, so this one would trade places with that one if we roll a 1. Nope. This one would trade places with that one if we roll a 1. Nope. This guy. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. These guys are farther. Nope. And then these 2 will trade places with one of those. Okay, one of these trades places. And that's it. Okay. Well, good job. Good job. Then the killer moves and attacks, but we don't have a killer on the board yet. Alright. No one was killed, no panic. Nothing going on during the upkeep phase. Back to us. let's go for a sprint into that lab and let's expose a guy. Well, let's see if we can expose a guy. We need to move 2 spaces. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're gonna weak attack, short rest to convert this into a success. We get to move 2 spaces. 1 and 2. So now, because we are in the lab, we get to do a lab test for free. Right, that's in here. This one. Okay. Performing a test. You can use the test kit or the lab. It doesn't cost an action. All we do is grab one of these cards right here and then flip it over. And if it says assimilated, that guy is an organism that we now have to fight and kill. If hello, Taz, it's RT. Hello, RT. It's Mr. U. So we're about to flip this card over, and we're going to see if that victim is an assimilation. Uh-oh, it has been assimilated. All right, so now we have to shuffle these cards. And so the next time that we do a test, the assimilated card will show up again. So now we have ourselves our first killer. We flip this thing over and it'll tell us which killer it is that we have. We have this guy. This guy also happens to have the extra legs card. And then we find that particular card. We remove this, and then we flip this over, which now reveals what his powers are. We grab one of these tokens, and then we put hit points on there. That would equal 6 hit points. Alright, now we've got some stuff here. And now we this out of the way. Oh, he's also got 2 hit points up here. Can never have enough legs. That's for sure, my friend. That is for sure. So now we've got to deal with the bloodlust track. He targets the nearest victim and moves, but he's already in a space with the victim. We decrease horror by 1. And we continue our turn. Okay. Well, shoot, we can't rescue these victims because the helicopter's already in the air. And I don't have an attack card in my hand. So, let's see here. I think I should hold on to this walk card. Or maybe we should move out of the space. What does the organism do here? The organism targets nearest final girl and or victim, moves, and then up here. It just attacks. What does the F mean? What does the F in the F and F mean? The F in the if the finale has been. Oh, I see. That's the finale movement. Got it. But the finale hasn't been revealed. So all he's going to do is just attack. So we should move out of that space so that those victims don't get killed immediately. So we're going to go for a walk. Hold on. What did we do? We just sprinted this turn with 1 success. Okay. So that was 1 time. All right. Yeah, all of it means I'm effed. Exactly, yeah. The big F circle means that I am effed. That is correct, Mr. RT. or Mrs. RT. Okay, we move one space, so that puts us in the hallway. And then the last action, I will focus. And that decreases time by 1. We're at 4 time. Why? Why would I ever roll anything other than conversion? I know what RT means, sir, ma'am, sir. I wasn't sure if you wanted your identification to be revealed. Okay, so that's a big fail. I lose 2 time. I am rolling like absolute doo-doo. Okay, that's it for me. I've got 2 time. 2 time. Well, there goes the plan to buy the Furious Strike. So, I think we need to get this helicopter to move faster. So, fly faster in a close call for me. And we get the focus in the walk back. Nice sprint. Okay, there we go. Alright, so no victim. Now it's the killer's turn. So, the killer is going to target the nearest victim, final goal, and attack. He's not moving, so they just stay there. Oh, I forgot. We have to add the little gray token, because the gray token is a killer. Okay. Okay. We could try to go to the supply closet and grab some items just to get the other test kit. Otherwise, it's going to be a while for us to get those 2 dudes into the lab. Alright. Terror card. This helicopter needs to move. Who can we trust? If there's no mutated organism in play, panic each of the exposed victims and decrease horror by 2. But there is a mutated organism, and he's going to target the nearest final girl and or victim. And he moves into this space. But I've got the dog. When an enemy enters your space, deal a damage to it. Whack! You lose one of those. And then the next time I take damage, I ignore it and discard the card instead. Okay. So he moves, and now he is going to attack, thereby killing the nearest victim. Sorry, guys. Okay. That was that. Oh, and bloodlust goes up by 1, which means he targets the nearest victim and attacks. Sorry, dude. Ah! Bloodlust goes up, which means I decrease or increase horror by 1. Boo boo. Okay, that went terribly. That's not what I wanted to see happen. That's okay. Here's what it is. Alright, so there's no victims of panic because he killed them all. And there's nothing happening during the upkeep, so it goes back to us. I think I should just keep moving, because if I force him to move into my space, he'll be forced to, or the dog will keep biting him and chomping on him. So the first thing I will do on my turn is let's go for a walk. Okay, we got 1 star, finally. So now we move 1 space. Into the hallway we go. I want to try to get into this space and maybe grab these 2 guys, go into the commander's hut to try to get the test kit to see if we can figure out if another one of these guys is a similar malemelation. Let's go for a focus, because these have been going so well for me. Nope. Just lose 2 time. Because why would I ever need to do, any sort of focusing at all? This game certainly is not letting me do any focus. Well, that's the thing about having a good plan. You have a good plan, but it goes out the window the moment I roll these dice. Okay, come on. Let's get these people home. They just want to go home. Why won't you let them go home? 2 spaces away, and we could rescue 3 victims. They just need to go home. Oh! Man! Oh, wait, I got a close call in my hand. Let's see if we can close call that. Game over, man. Wrong franchise. Wrong franchise, sir. This is John Carpenter's A Thing. And what we get here is, could you please untie me? Or what is it? I don't want to spend the entire winter tied to this effing couch! Probably the best line in the whole movie. Nope, even worse. Okay, so we just lose the time. Alright. I can't make this helicopter move at all to save my life. Okay. Alright, we've got 2 time. We've got 2 time. He's going to move into my space. The nearest victim, yeah, is 2 spaces away. I am the nearest, so he's going to move into my space and attack me for 2. I could guard it with a guard card so I don't lose my dog. The dog is going to end up doing all the heavy lifting here. I think that might be my best course of action to save the current plan of letting the dog do all the damage, because I don't have to roll for that. So instead of buying a sprint card, we just buy a guard card. Buy a guard card, we'll get the focus, a walk, short rest, and a weak attack. Fly faster is supposed to be the fastest way to move this helicopter. Fastest way, my butt cheeks. Okay, rolling some different dice. Alright, so now we go back to the killer phase. So the killer targets the nearest victim. Our final girl attacks, misses. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Terror card. Acidic body fluids. The mutated organism closest to you gets this power. Okay. When you deal 1 or more damage to this mutated organism, I lose a hit point. Jeez Louise. Alright, so this one goes to that guy as well, I suppose. He's the only mutated organism on the board. It doesn't say that. It has to go to a different one. If there's no mutated organism in play, place this the next time. No, yeah. So he gets that power. All right. But he doesn't move. He doesn't move. Bogus. Nobody was killed. Don't panic. Nothing happens during the upkeep. Back to me. Okay, so let's stick to my plan and try to rescue. These people in the kitchen. Or not rescue, but at the very least move these exposed victims and try to get into the commander's hut over here. So we're going to take me and the dog. We're going for some walkies. Me and the dog are going for some walkies. Oh, there we go. We move 1 space. Do I want to convert that and move 2 spaces? Should I convert that and move 2 spaces? No. No, I want these cards in my hand. So we're just going to move 1 space. Alright, so now we're in the kitchen. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. And someone's in the kitchen that I know. We're going to go for a focus. Okay. Decrease horror by 1. Decrease time by 1. Is that 4 times? Okay. Now, let's do a short rest, and we'll call that the end of our turn. I'm taking a bit of damage, mostly from tripping on the... She's making you a sandwich. Don't let her die. Well, yeah, that's why I'm trying to get the exposed victims out of there, so she continue making me a Dagwood. Come on, man. Oh, freaking butt cheeks. Okay, I recover 1 wound, increase horror by 1, decrease time by 1, and my turn is over, but that was it for the end of those cards. We've got 3 time. Let's see what we buy. Well, I definitely think we need to get this Fly Faster card, because it's done so much for me this game. That's 1 time. And then we got 2 more time. So I think a sprint card is in order. And then we get the focus and the walk back. We don't want to move too far away from the killer because we got the dog, and the dog has been doing some work for me. Okay, so goes back to the killer. They target a victim and then they swing and a miss because they're not moving. Terror card. Boy, we are almost at the end of the terror here. It just absorbed them. If there's no mutator, no. Okay, so it targets the nearest victim, which is going to be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh boy. Who is this? This is Teresa. This is Nico. And I think this is Grace. Who's the organism killing? Teresa, Nico, or Grace? I'll let you guys decide. Or we can let the dice gods decide. 1 and a 4, it's Teresa. 2 and a 5, it's Nico. 3 and a 6, it's Grace. Just right out the bat. Nico! Well, the dice god said it's Grace. If someone else says Nico, it's going after Nico. Okay, so Nico it is. Sorry, Nico. 1 and 2. Nico has died. Ah! Bloodlust goes up, which means I lose a heart. So that last short rest literally did absolutely nothing for me, but made me lose horror. That's all it did. If a victim is killed, the mutated organism recovers a health. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, okay, I guess it goes there. Yeah, Nico's great, man. We've been playing some games every Saturday. He was sick last week, and I got a new game, Primal the Awakening. I played that with Brian over at the Maverick Theater, and that game is so good that I bought the entire thing, every bit of that game, and I'm super excited to play that game with the kids. Maybe tomorrow, because we're going to have some company over. So, Robert, if you want to come over tomorrow and play some Primal, you're more than welcome to. Okay. What was I doing? That was the end of the terror card. Victim was killed, but there's nobody in a space to panic. Nothing happens during the upkeep phase, so it goes back to us. We have a sprint card, and I want to get into the commander's hut. So that, I think, is what we're going to do. We're going to go for a sprint and get into the commander's hut. And I'm going to bring these 2 exposed victims with me. No, because why would I? Why would I ever roll anything other than a freaking conversion? Okay, I'm going to discard the walk and the weak attack because we're not going to be attacking this turn to convert one of these into a success, which lets me move 2 spaces. I'm going to go... Oh, wait a minute. That's going to leave me outside. I can discard the focus and the guard card to move me 3 spaces. Convert that into a double success. I've been swapping dice every flipping roll, man. The dice gods are not with me here. 1, 2, and 3. This guy goes here, and that guy goes there. So that moves me 2 spaces. I lose 1 time, and that is literally all I was able to do this turn. And I discarded 4 freaking cards. Yes, yes I do. I'm very aware at how much sucking I do at this game. Now we're going to fly faster. Can we please get these victims home? There's 3 of them. I haven't been able to rescue 1, and there's 3 just chilling in the helicopter. Okay, we got 1 success, which moves the helicopter to the Arctic airport, which means we have finally rescued the victims. However, we have to wait for the helicopter to come back before we can rescue more victims. Decrease time by 1. Okay, we've got 4 time. That's the most time I've had in a while. Okay. We need a search card. And then if we expose another assimilated victim, we might be in trouble. And so I think we should get a guard card. I am going to get a weak attack, I think, on the next... No, I just discarded the weak attack. So I think a guard card is in order since I just discarded the other one. Do my best to rescue Captain Puppers. Oops, we also get these 3 cards. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, so that was the end of my planning phase. The next turn I do a search and hope that we can get... No, we should get that test kit, which will let us test that 3rd victim. Okay, so now it's the killer. Killer is in Nico's old room. Swings and hits nothing. So now it's the final terror card. The killer is going to target the nearest victim and or final girl. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So Grace in the kitchen is the nearest victim. So he's going to go 1, 2. They go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 1, 2, 3. So yeah, sorry, Grace. Because the killer moves 2 spaces, and Grace has been killed. Sorry. Bloodlust goes up, which means we reveal a new event card. Okay, what do we get? What do we get? Don't worry, we're here to help. If the helicopter has any victims on board, discard this and draw a new event. Well, otherwise, place the helicopter in the landing pad, place 3 new victims in space with the helicopter, and then panic them. Well, technically, the victims are still on the plane because they don't come off until the upkeep phase, I think. Let me read that correctly here. If the helicopter reaches the airport outside of the action phase... Oh, no, wait. It was during my turn. It happened during my turn. So, these guys were saved on my turn. So this event card does still go off. So, we are going to take the Furious Strike card. Increase time by 2. No. Yeah, increase time by 2 and recover a health. Since we increase time by 2, I get to buy another card. And we'll just... I believe I already got the... Yeah, we'll just buy another strike card. There, so that way I don't have too much to fix here. Alright, so if the helicopter has any victims on board, discard this and draw a new event. Otherwise, place the helicopter on the landing pad. Sweet, it's back. Thank you. Place 3 new victims in the space with the helicopter. Okay, the Ghostbusters are here. And they mean business. And then panic them first as a group and then once individually. If any are adjacent to an indoor space, move them to that space. Okay. Okay. So first they're going to panic as a group. 3. They all go this way. Now individually. 3. You go there. That die disappeared. 5. You go here. 4. You go here. Now, if they're adjacent to an indoor space, they move into that space. Okay. That was fun. Discard this. Alright, the Ghostbusters are inside. If a victim was killed, draw and resolve the next tarot card. But there is no more tarot card to draw, which means we flip over the finale card. I don't know where we put the finale card. Where are we supposed to put it? But here's the finale that we got for our organism. When this card is revealed, any remaining exposed victims are immediately assimilated. That ain't fair, man. That ain't fair. I was literally about to save somebody. If there's only one mutated organism in play and you are in its space at the beginning of the killer phase, you have been assimilated and lose the game. Sweet. Sweet. Guess what's gonna happen, kids? Guess what is gonna happen? I'm dead on this next turn, I'm assuming. Because now we've got this is the red one. And then this is the black one. We're in the commander's hut. This is what I get for trying to help. This is what I get. Okay, so yeah, you roll 3s and 4s even on panic rolls. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Okay, so then you get this. And you get this. Okay, this is going to be really fun to see what happens. Because we have to do everything on these horror tracks. So I could just die right now. And the big boy. Okay. Alright, so starting with the little baby. This killer panics. Okay. Rolls a 6, but nope, you stay where you are. This killer panics again. We need a 1 or a 2 to get out of that space. Nope, you stay where you are. He's going to target the nearest victim and then attack. But I'm in the space, so he's going to attack me. And I do have a guard card on me. Oh man, the dog's going to die. Well, that's a big fat nothing. Reduced by 1. You're doing 2 damage. Sorry, pup. I take no damage, but the pup has been killed. Okay. This killer panics. And he goes outside. And then we draw an event card and I lose a hit point. Well, first things first, we draw the event card. There's been an accident in the lab. That sounded like an explosion. An explosion has occurred in the lab. Anyone in the lab immediately takes damage. Place the whole token over the bottom wall of the lab. The lab is now adjacent to the outdoor space next to it. Like this. Okay. And then I lose a hit point. All right. All right. Now, the next guy. Targets the nearest victim and moves. He moves... How many spaces? 2. The nearest victim is this guy. 1 and 2. And then he's already there, so he doesn't have to move again. Then we draw another event card. Comms Specialist. It's a special victim. We need a bird on site. Over. The victim closest to, but not in the radio room, which is Teresa, is now the comms specialist. Teresa was the comms specialist the whole time? The whole time? If the comm specialist is in the radio room, once per action phase, you may roll a die. On a roll of 5 or 6, you may move the helicopter one space. If the comm specialist is killed, discard 2 action cards of your choice. Great. Great, great, great. Okay. Then I lose a horror. I take another damage. And then I lose horror one more time. And that's it. Okay. Okie dokie. That was the killer phase. Yeah, that was the killer phase. So now it is the panic phase. Was the victim killed this turn? I don't even remember. We had 3 of us in here. The dog was killed. The Ghostbuster showed up. Grace was killed on the last turn. No victim was killed this turn. I took some damage. I got 2 hit points. Upkeep. Nothing happens during the upkeep. Back to me. Oh yeah, dude. I'm toast over here. The red guy has. Oh well, we have a search card. Just for funsies, let's just go for search. See what happens. All right. Swap out some dice. Oh no. This is awful. This is awful. I am rolling like trash. Yeah, just the dog was killed. Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, okay. That's another freaking blank. Do I convert that? I'm going to have to convert it. It's going to make me increase horror, and I'm already at the end of it. So let's get rid of the short rest and the walk. To convert this into a success, take the top item card, which is the 2-way radio, and the test kit, which is no longer needed because there are no more exposed victims. Okay. Well, let's see if we can do anything to rescue these knuckleheads. Frostbite only happened one time. The hardest one to kill is going to be the black guy. Easiest one to kill is the red guy. The gray guy now has 9 hit points because he has both of those mutations, and he's going to hit me when I hit him. Okay. Oh, we decreased time by 1. All right. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We've got a sprint, a furious strike, and a focus on our hands. Well, we can go towards the red guy and just whap him one and see if maybe we can kill one of these things. Let's see if we can whap him one. Okay, we rolled a blank. I've got 2 cards. I can't even convert that. So I can move 1 space, take a wound, lose 2 time, and that's the end of my turn. I keep the focus and the furious strike, and then I die. And then I will die. Even if I stay where I am. Yeah, each of these is going to make me lose a wound. I suppose I should just make them move towards me. Well, you lose a wound, lose 2 time. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Hey man, I have a sound strategy, baby. It's not the strategy that sucks, it's the implementation. Implementation. Okay, so we've got 3 time. I think a guard card is going to be in order here. I don't have. Oh, I could sell a card. I could sell a card and buy Retaliate. That's what I'm gonna do. Sell that, buy Retaliate, and then I get all these other cards. Okay, that is what we are doing. So we now have a weak attack, a walk, focus, retaliate, and a furious strike. So we have the potential to do 5 damage, which could kill the weak guy, assuming I don't get myself killed. All right. Killer turn. Okay, so we go left to right. So I think you've run out of options. Yeah, I ran out of options like 5 turns ago. My strategy is I roll good and you roll bad. That is my strategy. And that strategy has done me good. Very good. Okay, so this dude is going to target the nearest final girl victim, move and attack. He's already in a space with a victim. This victim has been killed. Bloodlust goes up. So he now targets the nearest final girl victim, moves and attacks. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I'm the nearest. He goes in there and attacks me for 3 damage. We retaliate. This is game over, baby. This is game over. I've got 3 dice because I've only got 1 hit point left. 2 successes. Come on, we can do it. We can do it! Nope. Nope. I can use some of these cards to convert. I mean, it ain't gonna matter. It ain't gonna matter. I just got killed. Let's see if I come back. If I come back, their turn is over. And I have one chance to do something. Yeah, because it's their turn. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Is this the end of Uki? Yes, yes it is. I died. I died horribly and miserably. This was a no contest, baby. No contest. Yeah, that was it. That was it. Toast. This organism wrecked me. I don't know that I even had a chance. I mean, what do we have in... Yeah, you think? You think? Let's see what items we had. There was a knife in the commander's hut. There was another knife and a crucifix. And then up in the tool shed down over here, which is where we found the dog, there was a flare gun. It could only be used 2 times. Another flare gun, lucky dice, and then over here, well, there was the roller skates, and then we had an axe in the supply closet, a list of things. Oh, look, another dog. You have more than 1 dog? That's awesome. Imagine having 2 dogs running around with you. But they'd both be dead because I can't roll higher than a 4. So there is that. Well, kiddies, that is the panic at station 2891. The organism destroyed me. I had a chance early on, but you know, these tarot cards, they're the worst, and my rolls are terrible. I will be back next week. Next week, I believe we're going to be doing the wolf one. No, A Knock at the Door. We're doing the strangers. A Knock at the Door will be next week, same time, 4 o'clock. So join me for that. That's just how the thing would have played. And you know what, man? There were still, I mean, you still had the comm specialist. Teresa was still in the game. And you had 2 Ghostbusters that had shown up. I took all the organisms outside except for the one who had killed Grace. Now, if this were the film, that organism would have pretended to be Grace. Teresa would not have known because Teresa was dang near the whole game was in this room by herself. She ran out of the lab and was conducting experiments on this little alien corpse thing, and then somehow forgot to mention that she was a comms manager or whatever, could have gone to the radio room to rescue for more help. The Ghostbusters would have been like, hey, we're here. These organisms would have frozen. There would have been my dead assimilated corpse up over here, and then they would have taken Grace with them, and then Teresa would have radioed home, and then the alien would have gone to Fullerton and corrupted all the zombies in front of the movie theater. That's what would happen. That's what happened in my story. So there will be an organism part 2 where the organism will have left the station and is at Maple Lane or something. Anyway, kids, thank you so much for joining me. As always, even a loss is a good time. Thank you for the chat. That's always fun as well. Remember, next week, 4 o'clock, I'll be here. I hope you are too. And, that's the end of this match. I'll see you next week!